Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to be taking something from my sketchbook and putting it on canvas with paint and probably some neo colors also. I don't know, I'm going to probably mix media it. I don't know what I'm going to use yet because I'm just going to kind of go with the flow because that's kind of how I like to work. So we're going to be taking one of my scroll and scribble pages and putting it on this canvas board. Just a board that has canvas on it. I haven't gestoed it or anything, even though it says that it's been pre-primed. You know, usually that's like the bare minimum and you want to do it some more, but I'm not going to worry about all that. We're just going to have fun with it. And the scroll and scribble video that I have chosen is scroll and scribble number 4. That's the one where I got a couple of new sketchbooks. I tested them out and then I did scroll and scribble after that. The last one I did was like, what, 25? So it was a long time ago, but ever since I did that scroll and scribble, I've wanted to paint it on canvas. Some of you might remember it. It was Lobster Landing. I've always really liked this one, and I think I could make it look really cool if I kind of take it and make it my own. It's quite a step up. I forget how big this is. I think it's like, where's my ruler? Let me see, how big is this ruler anyways? This is an 8. So this is 8, 9, 10. 13, yeah, so it's about 11 by 14-ish, I think. We're gonna take it from here to here. A couple of things I might change. The pot of beans, I'm thinking about making him perched on a crate, one of these crates that was in the original picture, and then filling it with the beans, and then maybe he'll have a bean in his mouth or something, instead of like just this pot of beans. And then I'll have to change Lobster Landing a little bit. I might actually, instead of it saying Lobster Landing, like have the lobster on the sign, something like that. I don't know, just to change it up. And I'm not looking at any of these reference pictures, so I'm just going off of what I've drawn here, which will also help me stay away from what the original picture looked like, I think. But yeah, let's go for it. I'm gonna try to use up these little tiny Liquitex Basics tubes. I've had these for forever and they're getting close to being empty. So I'm gonna use these as much as possible if I can get them open. Okay, hopefully they're not all dried up, but we'll find out. And I think I'm just gonna draw with this. Okay. Okay, this off of here so it doesn't glue the lid shut. It's so nice to be painting again. I've been working on a really big canvas, which is actually over there. You can't see it though, it's not done. It's nowhere near done, but I have been working on that. Just something about paint that's just really great. Go ahead and do his legs. All right, we have our bird outline. I'm gonna let this dry and I'm gonna go over top of it with obviously some more dark colors and some light colors. Might as well do the box that he's perched on. Let's make it go this way. Maybe we'll just take out the whole corner. That might be kind of cool. Maybe I should just fill this in. I keep forgetting that acrylic paint you can go on top of and it's not gonna mix. So I can paint this whole thing brown and then go over top with the beans inside. Maybe I'll do all this kind of a light brown because it is going to be kind of like a dock. So that way I won't waste the paint. Moving right along, I'm going to go ahead and get Lobster Landing in here. And maybe the sky. Whoa. That was a lot. Okay, let's see what this color looks like. Maybe a touch of that. I wonder if I could use my water brush. These are the really thick ones. I don't use them that often, but we could try to use it on this. That might be kind of interesting. Let's give it a try. Way more blue in the sky than I meant to do. I kind of just want to fill this up so that it's not white anymore, because I think the white is making me feel some sort of way about it. So if we fill it up and then do the house over top, that should help, I think. All right, now I think I'm gonna dry this before we add anything else. Okay. Oop. Well, I guess I'll just use this from here. Try to place this around where there's blue on the main picture. All right, I like how that looks, so I'm gonna dry it. It's funny, the way that this is dried, I kind of see an eyeball right here instead of like, it's kind of supposed to be up here, right there. So maybe I could probably put it there and make it look like he's just, his face is closer, because his head's already pretty big. I'm gonna start with a small amount of black, just so I don't overdo it. I feel like it's looking good with the purple. I don't wanna totally ruin it doing too much black or blue. I can't always go back over it if I mess it up, so I gotta keep that in mind. I definitely forgot how much I go quiet when I paint. When I paint, I just I get so into it in that kind of flow state that everything else stops. Because I'm just having so much fun. I might actually take this blue. This is Phthalocyanine blue, of course. I love some Phthalocyanine blue. Apparently it's like supposed to be like a really hard color to use, but I don't agree with that. I feel like it's like the perfect color to use a lot of times. But I see what people mean by it. It's an overpowering color, so it makes it hard. It's a little shiny when I get close. I'm noticing that I'm painting a lot different than I used to. I'm not using hardly any water, whereas like I used to use a ton of water. I used to spray and make it so watered down because it took me so much longer to make decisions, and acrylic paint dries really fast. So if you're sitting there and you're trying to mix the perfect color, before you know it, your paint's dried up, or you've mixed like just a small amount, and then you're like, gotta mix some more. So you gotta keep it really wet, which is interesting. But I like how it's looking so far. Keeps shining against my lights, so I picked it up. I'm gonna leave the bird alone, and I'm gonna put Lobster Landing in the back because I'm worried if I finish the bird, I might get a little too in my head about it when I do the building. So let's throw Lobster Landing in here. I'm gonna use black because there's so many lines and stuff. I could probably go back with white over top of this and then it would look grungy maybe. But then this is really dark, so I don't want to lose it. What should I do? I could use my acrylic ink paint marker to draw the house and then use white on top of it. That might be fun to try. Let's try the paint marker. And I really got to try not to make the same mistake I did the first time, which is put everything crossing with his beak. But I still want it to be big. And it definitely needs to come down probably farther than where I put this. So let's actually put the bottom of it maybe right here. Let it come across. I also know I want the side of the house to end where you can still see a tiny bit, because I really liked how you could see the tiny bit of the background here. Up. That's gonna be really big. And should I have it like come up beyond the bird? Yeah, let's just, I can always paint over it, right? See where it goes. We're definitely gonna go off the page that way. And maybe that will look all right. Another thing is like the chimney is like right here. Let me get this so you can see. Chimney's like right here. So, but I don't really want it to be there because you can't really see it. Maybe I could put the chimney here, or I don't know, anywhere else I move it, it's gonna be a little bit off. I just know that I don't want the chimney to be like right in the middle. It's funny, I almost made it exactly the right size, didn't I? All right, I can tell like I'm starting to think about it a little too hard. So we're gonna throw this door in here, right about here. Door. And the door has like a thing above it that's red. And the light, instead of the light being over here, I want the light to be like right above the door, I think. Maybe we'll do this. Have the light come out. Oh, that's way too low. Hang on. Get rid of that. Okay. Figure out the light in a minute. We got to do this big window, which is straight across. I think I'm thinking about it too hard. All right, it's a new day. And I had to take a break because I started thinking about things way too strategically. It was putting me in a box, and I don't like feeling like I can't branch outside that box whenever I'm painting. New day, new mindset. I'm just gonna dive in here. I think this is like a common problem. When you start liking something that you're doing, the rest of it becomes more precious. You don't want it to feel like a waste of time. So you start caring a little too much, and then you start wasting time because you're thinking too hard about it. So enough of that. The lobster landing sign, I think I've decided just not to do it at all and just do the little lobster, because I really like the little lobster and the sign is kind of covered up anyway. I do want this to look different than the original. I've even put my sketchbook off to the side so that I'm not tempted to keep looking at it. I do want to put a tiny window here. The white is almost out. So I wanted to tone down the sky, make it not so blue. And then we'll take some of this and should probably dry the red before doing this, but we're living dangerously. Got a tiny brush. I should probably change brushes. There we go. Way too much white up in here, so try to throw some water, hopefully take some of this away. All right, honest question. Should I make this a box, like a crate that he's perched on with the beans in it, or should I just make it the pot, like make a bigger version of the pot, almost like a big barrel? I think I want to do that. So let's take a little bit of this ochre color and see if I can map out how I would want the thing to be. So if we've got the pot here, the inside is going to be green, but I'm going to do it white just so that I can paint over top of it and you'll be able to see it a little bit better, just to lighten it up, because a lot of times it's hard to paint green colors and yellow colors on top of really dark colors. So we're priming the area for the beans. And then behind it, we're going to have the house come down. Either I'll have his foot like holding a bean, or I'll have it on top of the pile of beans. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, and since we're down at the bottom, I'm just going to throw in some of that unbleached titanium. Definitely put way too much out here. I could try to do the stripes. Okay, here's where we are. We're getting it done. I scratched this away because it was like bubbled up. I'll have to go back over with some dark right there anyway. But I gotta grungy it up some more. I'm going to definitely add beans in. Let me throw some green down here. Shadow line right around here. I went silent again. I'm just kind of messing around. I feel like I need to get some of my loose feeling back. I'm adding lots of shadow. Sometimes adding shadows just kind of, I don't know, makes you be able to see what's going on a little bit easier. It pops things out that weren't popping. I really want to dirty this stuff up. Go over it with like a little bit of black on my brush and a decent amount of water and just muck it up because it's way too bright, I think. I like that the original one looked really weathered, so I think we're getting there. I know I've made a couple of you probably really nervous about it. I've been really nervous about it too because making all this blacked out, it definitely doesn't look good right now. But that's okay because sometimes you gotta make a mess to clean a mess. We're getting all the ugliness out of the way and then I'm gonna go on top and kind of like clean it up a bit. A couple of things real quick. I love this door, especially like down here. I think I need to fix the windows and make them a little bit thicker and the frame around it not so thick, but loving the door. Loving the pot of beans. Obviously I gotta make the beans in it And I still want to have like those little sprigs sticking up, but I got to do that very last because I have to make sure everything behind it is good before I do that. I need to add a claw going back behind this lip so that you can tell he's like holding on to the rim of the pot. So far, my favorite part on this is this. I love it so much. I will not touch this part. I might mess with the rest of the bird, clean this part up, but this will remain the same because I love it so much. I also love this claw right here. One thing I really want to add in are the lines to the light pole. And I think I might put the light pole somewhere else and have the lines kind of going over to it, just to add kind of a wiriness. I don't know. One thing I think of when I think of like docks and boats, I think of like ropes and wires and things like that. So I think it would be really cool to add that in without having it stick out the top of his head. Obviously, I gotta put my lobster right here. Another thing I really want to add is this light. I love this light so much. I've used this light in other sketches that I've done because I just love the color of it and the shape of it. But I want to kind of make it more of a thing, stand out a little bit, because right now it's just so tiny here. I don't know. I almost feel like adding a light pole and then it hanging over here in front of the door. I don't know though. I'm kind of nervous to do it. Also, the chimney's gone. The sign is gone. I just kind of like it how it is. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking about. I think for now I'm going to go back over, kind of dry brush some white on here, make it look a little bit more like wood. Now let's see if I can fix this door. I definitely want the door to be lighter than the rest of this siding because I want it to look a little bit smoother. Set it and forget it. I want to leave a tiny border of the black. That looks pretty cool, I think. Loving the door. Add a little bit of clouds back in this part of the sky. I'm trying to cover up this black line that I drew so that it's just not so obvious. Okay, here go the lobster. Right about here. He's got like a tail here. This red is really thin paint, so I'm gonna have to do it. Definitely have to do it more than once. Add just some messy lines here because I don't really want to make this super detailed down in here because I think it'll just take away from everything else. I'm gonna try to do like a bean in this one's hand just to cover it up. I'm adding some white in here. And then I'll be able to go over it with the darker green. Same thing with a lot of this. some little like curly sprig things. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of like do one hanging out this way. Curly thing on it. Right in the middle. It's got like something like that. I was gonna try to incorporate some neocolors in here, but it's so textured. I think it's gonna not work right. Let's see if I take this really bright neocolor and go over top. I don't know, it's making it look a bit more, I don't want it to be that textured. See what I mean? It's like it almost makes it look chalky. So let's not do that. Let's put this power pole in here. Maybe I'll just put it here. Not sure how this light pole works, so we'll just kind of make some strange crisscrossy lights. I think that worked out pretty good. I don't think it makes much sense where the line is going. Obviously it's going, I don't know, to the attic for some reason. Now I just need to put the light over here and then I'll be done, I think. It looks so good. I'm so happy with it. This final decision, is it gonna ruin it or not? I don't know. If I put it like right here, with the little top part going this way. No going back now. Well, I could go back, but I'm not going to. Take this pole, make it smaller. The light is huge compared to the door, so maybe I should have it connected to a pole. Is that weird? It's a bit odd, right? Should have another pole going off that way. I don't know if I'll end up liking this, but we're doing it. Well, I think this is not looking how I wanted it to look. I'm honestly unsure if I even want this in here anymore. But I would love for it to look good. So I'm gonna keep trying. Okay, I thoroughly made a mess over here. I think I'm gonna leave it here. I'm still not sure if I like the light pole. I don't think I dislike it. I'm just not sure if I like it here. I'm definitely glad I didn't attach this big old light to the house because it really would have been just the wrong size for the door. I almost feel like I should have made it even taller. Probably gonna take me walking away from it and coming back to look at it later and then liking it more than I do right now, even though I really like it. I'm so glad I decided to not do the crate and do the pot of beans because it is part of the Scroll and Scribble was the pot with the beans. This little power line pole is like one of my favorite parts. I don't even know why, but I love that. I love the lobster. I love his eyeball. I think I did really awesome on the eyeball. It's really hard to see without it being shiny. So I'll have to go over this with like some matte medium so that it's not so shiny on the black. I love it. From sketchbook to canvas. I think I like both equally. This one definitely looks more like crisp. This one's definitely more sketchy and a little bit faded. And this one's just like bam. I like it a lot. Now I gotta sign my name. Hopefully you enjoyed watching the process. Thank you everyone who left me a like. It really helps me out a lot. And thank you to all my subscribers, whether you have just joined today or you've been here from the start. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I'll see y'all next time.